Hey guys, I've recently been working on a PC build, and I wanted to go over kind of how to upgrade your PC as a Fortnite player. This is going to be the bare basic, super easy to understand kind of things you learn in the first few weeks of looking at PCs and stuff, and it will save you a lot of time just if you want to upgrade one part, because a lot of things don't have compatibility or aren't worth your time because the money to the performance ratio is just not it. I think the first thing to understand about Fortnite is that you do not need to destroy your bank account by buying a new PC. Most of the opponents that you could upgrade are mostly going to be your CPU. While GPU matters in a good amount, you can run a GPU at under $400 and still run 240 or higher FPS. Most of the load is going to be on your CPU, and that's going to be where you need to upgrade. Also, RAM is also very important as well. While there's a lot of deeper things to look for in RAM and how speeds and stuff work and how some of the other ways to benchmark work, but I would just ignore all of those things and just make sure you look at the rankings and stuff on some of the PC compare websites. This saves you a lot of time from learning actually what's going on in the PCs, and you can just type in your parts and compare two different things. This saved me tons of time. Just like there's a lot of GPUs and CPUs that are in different series that are very similar numbers on like the rating scale, but in performance, the percentage wise FPS increases and performance increases are completely different. For example, the best CPU in Fortnite is the 3D models, which have a 3D cache, which I could go on and on about how it improves it, but let's let you know it is better. And things like the 7800X3D is a lot better than the 7900, and the 900 series and Ryzen 9s are a lot more for like performance and stuff while like using your workspace computers and stuff like that, and in gaming performance it really isn't as good. A lot of them can be used for like AI work and stuff like that, but you do not need to blow your bank up by buying the best 9800 3D though, because I think that's completely overkill for Fortnite. Unless you're running 600 FPS with 600 hertz monitor for like professional gaming with like zero delay, you do not need to do this. And some of those pieces cost like $700 or more. While the graphics, the CPU I'm getting is the 7800X 3D, which is about 450 to 350 depending on the sale price, and you don't even need to go that crazy. Before going on to the next part, I wanted to just kind of go over what CPU brands you want to be getting. The AMDs at the moment, there's a ton of issues with the Intel ones, and there's just no reason to waste your time with that. For GPUs, the AMD cards are really good for budget builds for FPS, and if you're running 1440p, they have better performance on those. But most people like to stick with NVIDIA just because of their softwares and just like, I don't know, it's like brand affiliation that people just like them better. I definitely like the NVIDIA software better for recording and stuff like that. So I personally am going to keep my 3060 Ti. But also with your CPUs and stuff, you have to keep compatibility in mind, because some CPUs, there's two main AMD platforms, which is the AM5 and the AM4. The AM4 is a lot older and have just recently in the last few years have gone out of circulation, and now are only basically limited for budget builds, and you should be always going with the AM5. And the AM5s are mostly going to be with like the 7000 series and the 9000 series. And the 5000, 3000, and some of the lower series are going to be for the AM4s. Try to stay away from the AM4s. I know even if you're trying to save money, it looks really nice to have cheaper RAM, cheaper power supply, cheaper everything for it. But the AM5 platform is going to allow you to upgrade your CPU. And even if you get the lowest 3D models, like the 7600, which is only sold at Micro Center, those lowest ones, which are only like $300, are like 10 times better than the other ones that are like the 3000 and 5000 series for the I think lastly, this is kind of being like a mini tip thing where like what not to buy. Like there's a few parts and stuff that are just known you're just not supposed to buy because they're either not compatible with things or they're just not worth the price. things like the 4060 series GPUs. Also, things like getting over 6,000 megahertz on your RAM. There's just no point, and that money would be better. And as like the last like general like tips when you're looking for PC parts is like if you're really making a budget build, go on eBay, not Amazon. And if price does not mean quality in the GPU, CPU, and other computer parts, things are way overpriced, and it's just because they either look cool or people just don't know that there is something better priced. I was looking at CPUs earlier, and there was literally a CPU in the 9000 series and a CPU in the 7000 series that were basically the same price. They were the same like 700 model, and they both costed similar prices. But the 9000, of course, because the newer model just was that much better than it, like a 20% increase. And it was selling for the same amount just because it was old and they don't make them anymore. So when there's scarcity, they increase the price. And somebody must be stupid enough to buy them. So just make sure you're looking at every single price. Check every single site to make sure you're not getting scammed. And I like Amazon just because it's trustworthy, but eBay is pretty trustworthy. I've heard they have some new stuff to not get scammed. And you get some bunch of deals on Facebook Marketplace if you're really looking for like a under $500 build. Or if you're even looking for like a PC upgrade for your part, they have parts there that is a lot cheaper and stuff, even used ones. Things like CPU are very lasting, and unless they like break a pin or something on the CPU, then it's basically not going to get old. I hope you guys learned something. This is kind of just my first 2 weeks of learning and kind of the bare basics. I'm pretty new to PCs too, and I learned a lot in the last few weeks researching. So if you guys have any tips or any like, if I made a mistake or two in this video, please tell me. I can make a comment and rectify it and have it pinned or something like that. I'll admit that I'm not the smartest with these things, but just recently I've done a ton of research and have a really good build set up that I had a few friends look at and they said it was really good. So I hope you guys have an amazing day. Please stay positive and please leave a like and subscribe if you guys enjoyed. Thank you guys and have an amazing night.